Guys, welcome back and a happy new year to the Boys Presents podcast. We're back with a bang, insert explosions. You know,
we can't afford Neds yet.
we've got a full house. We've got a full house today. You know, we've got all the usual suspects. And Jim, thank you for joining us for a podcast. Appreciate you.
Wow.
So
wow.
We're going to be talking about who's in the title race, which manager's going to be sacked next. There's a few big football team managers on the cusp, in the mud, and of course Mudyrk as well. So Copley.
Hi.
Who's in the title race, mate? United in the title race? I'll ask you that question directly.
We've had a discussion. To me, we're not in the title race.
Okay.
But
why?
My point: if we're in the title race, therefore there are 4 teams in this title race.
Why?
Because Newcastle are on the same points as us. So therefore, they're in the title race.
He believes that if United are going through the form that they're going through, and obviously Newcastle have been unbeaten
if we're in the title race,
14
Newcastle
now.
have to be considered for the premise on points.
Yeah, that's
mathematically, but historically,
I don't think we're in the title race, and we've said that on our points,
and you know that we're just about scraping 7th.
Newcastle.
We've got a Langer coming on.
Newcastle are scraping wins and draws. United are putting in top performances against former champions.
Well, that's a little bit harsh, though, Chaz.
Well, to a certain extent, it's true.
I think it is.
Wait, what teams have we scraped?
I think Newcastle. I don't think they're scraped wins. I feel like
because even today
they create chances. It's not like
I think Cobby, to be fair, I mean that's actually quite a good point. I didn't think about that.
Like, if we're in the title race, Newcastle have to be considered in it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You've got a game in hand. You've got a game in hand.
Okay, so if we lose that, we're now not in the title race.
Okay, City are only 1 point above you. Does that mean City are not in the title
I think
race?
it's Arsenal and City.
But what? But City are only 1 point above you.
Yeah,
but also historically, we've seen what City have done, where they've been trailing behind in many years, and then all of a sudden they've just had a second half of the season.
And historically, we've seen United do that as well.
Fucking how long ago?
That is the thing. Historically, in these positions, you're more likely to carry on than Newcastle. No offense, but you'd imagine Newcastle might burn out towards the end. But obviously, just because of who United are, they're the more likely of the two.
Look, you're fourth in the league. You're fourth in the league. You're a point behind City. You're currently form-wise the best. Form-wise, you're the best team in the league. You're in the title race.
But I feel like if we're considered in it, City, Newcastle have to be considered.
We've also been saying this.
United are in title race.
Newcastle for the last since Eddie Howe kind of took over. We've always said, their form is really good, but they'll start dropping off. And really,
they haven't though.
They haven't yet.
I feel like a difference is as well. I know. We talk about Newcastle's depth. Ours ain't great. Like I know, like we're a Casemiro injury from back to McFred, and then we're fucked again. That easy. If Rashford gets injured, we ain't scoring a fucking goal for the next 6 weeks.
God, that'll happen.
The only team that've got the depth in the top 4 is City.
Serious depth. I feel like you've got some.
You can't sit there and say Arsenal have serious depth.
No. I didn't say serious depth. I said you got some depth. Like the difference.
Arsenal's definitely got better depth than us, and I think United have got some depth, but not. When you go from starting, like City can replace their starting 11 and be a very similar side to what they could put out.
We want City's issue is their defence. They're starting
with
to Kanji
Arsenal,
fucking.
There's maybe 2 or 3 positions where a player can come in and do a very similar job, like left back Tomiyasu and Tierney. They can't
do the same job as Zinchenko.
No, but if you talk about depth of players,
they can get you through.
They can get you through. Whereas
we thought the same. We thought the same last season, and look what happened last season.
It's
the same players. It's the same players this season. I don't think our depth is exactly great. I mean, we're a party injury away, a Saka or Martinelli injury away, an Odegaard injury away from having a very, very weak start in that position.
Benjamin White injury away.
Well, he's been the best right back in the league, so yeah.
Best right back, yeah, absolutely.
Second best.
Best.
Trippier still ahead.
No, not a country mile,
mate.
Country mile.
Better defensively and better offensively.
Not a chance in hell.
Second best.
But anyway, we're talking about title race.
Second best.
Yeah,
Trippier's been the best.
Which obviously leads quite quickly onto United's rebuild. Me and Chaz, like we said to Copley, this is your free hit season?
Oh, we all. Apart from Jim, I think at the start of the season we all said it.
Yeah.
But then obviously, 100%. But then obviously, because you are where you are now, much like Arsenal last season, it's no longer really a free hit. You should be getting top 4 now.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
What do you think's the massive change? What do you think's changed for you to be
just that ball bastard, isn't it?
The mentality of the players won. I feel
Casemiro.
like, like individual performance, like Casemiro. If he gets injured, fucking hell, let's not talk about it because I'll be depressed.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say
we have to talk about it.
I'll be if Casemiro gets injured, I'll be very surprised if we win the next.
Watch.
Yeah, like I'll be hanging out the window.
United,
it's not.
Man United look like they're playing as a team. They're all together. But secondly, they're playing for the manager. They're playing for the badge. You know, you're seeing Rashford and Bruno. They're working their socks off, and it gives them more confidence, and it makes their game better as well. They're completely different units. What they were.
I think this is the first manager we've had in a while where he's come in and he's like we said about Conte when he went to Spurs, and he's come in and he's totally changed the culture and he's demanding that respect. And I think we're now kind of seeing the results of that from the players.
Mate,
I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say Ronaldo's departure has added to this squad's freedom.
I mean, the only people that couldn't see that United were better without Ronaldo were United fans. So there's no surprise really.
We said it the whole time.
I said I wanted him gone in January.
I wasn't a believer of playing Rashford through the middle, but now you've got Martial back.
Big bout
for and the wiggle.
You wait till he bags his first goal.
I think United actually, for the first time in the past 4 or 5 seasons, actually have a collective squad and a team.
The big difference as well is the players seem to be taking on board what they're being coached. I think De Gea, for one, he's not perfect distribution, but he's a lot better. Wan-Bissaka can now, even the past few games, I know it's only a few games and we've seen little bits before, he can play forward.
He looks like he's been coached, hasn't he? Like,
Rashford can now actually score the easy chances where he used to score score a 30-yard screamer, but then miss an open goal.
You've got
even
Luke
Dalot
Shaw
going forward.
Luke
Shaw playing centre half is better than Maguire and Lindelof.
So
the players seem to be.
Shaw is chosen over Maguire. I think that speaks a lot.
And Bruno as well isn't playing. He's still definitely prone to it, but he's not playing his. I need to be on Sky Sports every fucking week to hit this 70-yard pass that no one's going to hit apart from maybe De Bruyne.
He still does come back in.
He still does it occasionally, but he's definitely more. Like it's almost like he's not really bothered about how his goals and assists look, but he'll play
for.
He's
a lot more disciplined because he stopped being such a whingy little bitch.
He started creeping back in a little bit.
He
is a
prick. I don't know why people don't like him personally. I think he's a great guy.
Before he spent more time in the ref's ear than he did playing football.
I did throw a little
the other way round.
I did throw a little devil's advocate to Copley before I think everyone joined that earlier of the rebuild. Has it looked like it's gone quicker because of the teams around have gone to absolute shit?
I think that definitely does play a factor, doesn't it?
No, that's not United's fault or anything. Like you got to beat what's in front of you. But
it definitely helps.
If all these teams that around them didn't just look like absolute shit half the time.
I mean, not to bring them up again, but same could be said for. I mean, Arsenal are playing outstanding football, but is it a case of Liverpool aren't there to challenge?
Like Chelsea and Liverpool sitting in 9th and 10th. Like no one in their right mind would predict that.
I think
it certainly helps the league
position
twice. But I think you can still change. I think you can still see the physical change.
Oh no, like the actual football being played.
As 100%. But like,
it's not magic moment Ollie ball.
No,
it's definitely improved the league position and put us in a fantastic position to hopefully
capitalize on a top 4.
And again, I think the next 2 fixtures probably decide. I think personally, even if we take 4 points from Palace, Arsenal, so that's obviously a win and a draw. I think then you could probably say title charge or title race. But we could still drop.
I think there's definitely scope for used to be contending up there towards the last 8-9 games.
Yeah, it's all in Arsenal's hands, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether
they've got to go beat Arsenal.
Arsenal have played teams.
Must win.
Arsenal played teams off the park Like they battered us for 90 minutes. How we scrapped a point. Tottenham have been pushed over by them. They've done Chelsea at the bridge. Have Arsenal already done I know it's only halfway, isn't it? What are we 18, 19 games? It's only halfway,
18.
but I am now believing that Arsenal have done enough in the first half of the season to
They've got to play City twice still.
No, I was going to say my point here, in a weird way. Before, for me, it would be Arsenal have to play City twice. Now, for me, it's like City now have to play Arsenal twice. If that makes sense.
100%.
Like it's completely flipped around from City. Arsenal have to go to City and do something. It's now City have to go to Arsenal. Arsenal are the better team and looking the better team.
From an Arsenal point of view, I'm more worried about Arsenal versus Man United than I'm about Arsenal versus Man City. I think Man United offer more in regards to
that's fair enough.
Like our shape, I think defensively.
Because Man City ain't going to come to the Emirates with a game plan to sit back and defend and plan the counter attack. They're going to play the Man City way. Man United will do that, and we saw it in the reverse fixture towards the start of the season. That when they done it last time, they beat us 3-1.
We did to City as well.
In my opinion, the United game is the United game is a lot bigger than the City game.
Yeah,
my only issue with us.
Go ahead. I said to Cal like a couple of days ago, like the only thing that worries me about City at the moment, where they're still sitting in second, and they've got terribly shaky defense, is at some point it's just, for a fact at some point that squad's just going to click.
Well, they need their centre backs back.
No, but
they're playing a Kanji Ake. It's awful.
Yeah, but
terrible centre backs.
Wasn't last season he was pretty heavily rotating that back line anyway.
Yeah, but no, even Diaz would play every game no matter what, and he'd change out
the form Stones was in before he got injured was immense for them. So I think
if they had a fit Stones and Diaz, they'd look
Diaz,
so much better.
But I still think with that squad, and nobody can deny it, like that squad, as soon as it starts clicking, it's going to be
they can. That is the scary thing. They can click and they can go on a 17-game win streak.
Right? But Pep Guardiola's City have always played, not always. Sorry, for like the last few seasons, has played with a front three that is completely interchangeable, and the players at the top three they move around so much, and they create so much space that it became near on impossible for teams to defend against them. Now Guardiola is trying to find his best front three with Erling Haaland in the middle. He can't drop Haaland because he scores goals and he's their marquee signing. So he's now playing with an attack force that is no longer interchangeable. You think last season or 2 seasons ago they had Sterling, they had Bernardo Silva, they had Grealish, they had Jesus, they had Mahrez, they had Foden. They can no longer play this interchangeable false 9 front three,
and they'd all get you 10. They'd all get you 10 plus goals.
Yeah, if you stop the ball going into the box, then Haaland's fucking useless.
United done it and Liverpool done it.
The issue is
supply line. He's done.
They still don't know how to play with things. I watched Match of the Day last night, and there were 4 or 5 runs that Haaland made that could have quite easily. It wasn't like, oh, you're looking at some ridiculous ball played over the top. He's just run across the defender, and he was just there like no one's played it. And you like, if you play that ball, and they start thinking, right, I need to find him. Like when Ferguson,
like
when we signed Van Persie, when we signed Van Persie, Ferguson went, give the ball to him, he will go and score. Yeah. They need to think, right, he's making that run, I'm going to pass the ball there, instead of going, I'm going to lay it out wide, which they started doing. But he was making the runs that they need to feed him.
He's always been making the runs.
No, but going back to Chaz's point, that is very much how you would have to play with someone like Haaland, but that's not Pep's way of playing.
No, he's never played like that.
It's keeping
intricately working it into the box.
Yeah, and it's very complex.
It's like Haaland can't control that ball and skin 2 players and create space. That's not the player that he is. He's an out-and-out robot goal scorer. Whereas when you put Jesus in that number 9 for Man City, he controls the ball. He might not score you 20 goals a season, but he's creating space for players. He's creating opportunity for players. And Man City, notoriously, in my opinion, have never been this really solid defensive team. They've always just outscored their opponents.
I don't
agree with that. They actually surprisingly have been very solid.
Yeah, they brought up a stat.
Disgustingly solid.
They brought up a stat where it was like they're 2 points behind where they were before the United game. They're like 2 points behind, but they've conceded like 13 more goals already.
Yeah, they've conceded loads. Last year they only conceded like 22 or 24 in the whole year, and they've beat that already.
We are starting to see when you do have a solid back four, and you can build that as the foundation. It's very, very hard to obviously be broken down.
You have done.
Yeah,
well,
100%.
like, Newcastle with the
we're not
obviously with
battering
what we've
teams
got,
6-0, but we're getting 1-0,
No.
2-0.
but it's progressive. Like that back four is just rolling in confidence
Yeah.
time and time again.
Oh yeah, it's like you
And
look
then,
at
like with United's back four, when Maguire and Lindelof was there, it was you had already lost before the game had started, and that was purely from like a confidence perspective. Like
when you yeah.
Hey, I just
Yeah.
looked. I just had a quick look. Last year, Liverpool and City scored 99 and 94 goals and only conceded 26 each. I think Liverpool have beat that already, and I think City are close to beating that.
Well, City like, so this season, like City have conceded 18 goals, but I think everyone here will agree that their defense has been.
They just look
shambolic.
awful.
They look awful. So obviously stats and figures don't tell the whole story, but like Bram was saying, when you have like a foundation at the back, the players are nice play with each other. I mean, you look at the Arsenal Spurs game today, and you look at how on the same page like Zinchenko, Gabriel, and Partey were, and how confident they were together, and how easy they made it look because they're trained within an inch of their life to do that. It just makes the game so much easier.
I mean, hats off to that as well. When Zinchenko's out for a while as well, and you're playing a centre half at right back, you've got Tierney or Tomiyasu at left back, and then for Zinchenko just to slide straight back in over the past few weeks and just before the World Cup.
Yeah, I
It's a
mean, it was
testament to him,
very,
isn't it, really?
it was very obvious the way Arteta wanted to play with his fullbacks, and it was pretty obvious why he brought Zinchenko in, because Zinchenko done it like for Man City whenever he played for Man City. But there ain't anyone in that Arsenal team that can do that role like Zinchenko can do it. You look at Spurs today with two in the middle of the park, and you thought, well, it's a bit unfair that Arsenal are playing three in the middle against Spurs' two. But for 60 minutes of the game, Zinchenko was in there as well, so it was a 4v2 theoretically, and it was just they're just so good at doing it.
Wasn't fair. You cheating, basically.
On the United rebuild topic, Copley, for you to, I mean, you have signed Big Val, right? Obviously,
I was going to make one point
desperate,
actually, probably similar.
Desperate for a striker, and obviously this wouldn't have been top of your list. But is there anything else that you would feel you need in this window to be title contenders? In this window, well, you're not going to be a title contender in the summer, are you?
Well, my last point I was going to make before we moved on is my only issue with this rebuild is the already reports in the summer that unless we get bought, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
Like we're relying on Champions League, or we're not going to have much. Again, just reports very early.
To play with?
Yeah.
Money-wise?
Like it'll be sell players, use that money kind of thing.
Well, it's kind of got to be that if you're up for sale, right? We had this discussion.
Well, yeah, no.
With,
if we're going to get sold or not,
with Liverpool,
we do. But
was it yesterday with Liverpool?
Yeah.
Where we said Liverpool can't afford
Yeah.
I mean, they got a steal with Gakpo, like on paper, but they can't afford to be splashing 200. They can't do what Chelsea's doing right now and spending $500 million in 6 months.
No. We need a Casemiro backup.
The club's up for sale.
We need.
Yeah, that's what you need a backup.
You need
if he gets injured, there's no one near him.
Well, the simple fact is that Casemiro is irreplaceable for United. You know, just like Rodri's irreplaceable for City, Partey's irreplaceable for Arsenal. Like as soon as one of those
Sean Longstaff for Newcastle.
As soon as one of those get injured, that team's fucked.
We're not going to find someone as good, but it also needs to be someone whose the drop off isn't McMuffin.
Well, do you not think? I mean, no. Fred's been playing box to box and been playing.
Fred's not on DM like him.
Can I have Fabinho for 60 million if you want him?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass.
Oh, that's weird.
So yeah,
Speaking
I
of transfers,
think I was gonna say on the transfer topic, Aaron's favourite player ever.
Literally had posters of him on the wall. That's why that wall behind him's so bare. You can see a little bit of blue tack.
Taking them all down. If we were streaming this live, we would happily bring up the 1.5-minute clip from where Aaron was defending from within an inch of his life for this deal not to happen, whilst being hit with logic and firing back with his own distorted logic.
No, it's Arsenal.
It's Rooney wants us.
Oh. And plus, I've never heard of the bloke.
Aaron, you didn't even want him, did you?
Who really is he?
I mean,
you reckon if Mudyrk scores against Arsenal, he's going to put his hands up? Do you reckon if Mudyrk scores against Arsenal, he's going to put his hands up and not celebrate?
Like, I won't celebrate because
he'll have an Arsenal top underneath.
Yeah.
Any team that drop 100 million on a player that's scored 9 goals in their career football, then they're idiots. Simple as that.
Yeah.
95 million though. 95 million.
95 is
fine.
fine.
That's
I said
perfect.
100
Is it?
million. I'm not bitter at all. Do you know what? I was genuinely excited for Arsenal to sign him. I really was.
Mate, I blocked him on Instagram. Fuck him.
Money talks, and when you're getting paid $3,000 a week to live in Ukraine and to fucking sit in that bedroom you were sitting in, I don't blame you to the Chelsea deal.
I know. We've seen
8.5 years, by the way.
I know we've seen Aubameyang go Chelsea from Arsenal. We've seen Willian go Chelsea to Arsenal. Is this the first time we've ever seen someone literally just dangle everything out for this club to take and then go, oh, never mind. Yeah, fuck it. I'll go join these. Just
William the Spurs and Chelsea, didn't he?
I think
he had his medical and his pictures with the fucking top.
William was in the top, and then 5 minutes later, he was in the Chelsea top. Chelsea was years.
I don't know why Arsenal didn't match the bid though. If it was, let's say only 5 million, if it was an extra €5 million,
probably more precedent that gets set for their future targets.
Because
people go,
we've done it in the summer with Rafinha as well. Arsenal will put a top level budget what they're willing to spend on a certain player, and if a team comes in and bids above that or tries to start a bidding war, Arsenal won't be interested in it. And they said that in the summer, and they follow through with it in the summer, and they follow through with it again today. I personally think they should have, but
Chaz, how many bids did you put in? Was it 3? With the third one being 95, yeah.
Well, apparently,
but in that point, you're in a bidding war with yourself.
Well, no,
because you're matching. But you're increasing valuation.
Yeah, but if I go to a car boot sale, in my mind, I've got a maximum price of £50, and I start at £30. I'm not increasing it. I'm just negotiating, aren't I?
No, but it's different when the salesman turns around and go, "I'm not taking anything less than 100."
No, it's not.
No, it's just pure negotiation.
If I go in with a top level and I refuse and it goes against all my wants to not go above that price, then you don't go above that price. It's as simple as that.
You'd be a shit estate agent, I can tell you that now, bro.
Yeah, you were too. Don't worry.
I mean, I am very. I have to admit, I am very sorry. It's not many times that I've been a bit annoyed about a player not coming to Arsenal or a transfer not going through, but for some reason this Mudyrk one gets me a little bit because I think he's
you're perfectly within your rights to feel.
And the thing that I loved about him is that people can say that he's got nine career goals for Shakhtar or whatever, but the way, firstly, he's fucking rapid, but the way that he ran with the ball at such speed, it excited me quite a lot, and to not have that is going to be.
It would have been a perfect squad player. Well, not a squad player, but perfect replacement when Martinelli transitioned to the central or whatever.
This is what me and Sip were saying, right? So you've got Mudyrk, who say they accept the 95 million. You've got Martinelli, who's been unreal for years, hasn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah.
You've got Saka on one side. Yeah. Who does play in the middle? Because Mudryk's hasn't played centrally. Martinelli, maybe Arteta could.
Martinelli went up as a striker.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Look, the simple fact is it's all about score rotation. I sit here and say to spend £100 million on a player and to not start him is crime. But I mean, I think that is just the way that football is these days.
I don't know why you drop 100 mil on a player. Also, do you think that the Antony transfer in the summer ruined your chances of getting Mudyrk as well, rather than Chelsea coming in and swooping in? Because I think prior to Antony going for absolute, we paid an inflated price for him. Do you think they all the sporting directors of every other club are like?
Antony, how much did you get Antony for? With add-ons,
£97 million.
No, I think we've had on pounds. Okay, yeah, Antony, Antony at £84 million. The only people he's worth that to is Ajax. That's it. No one else. Yeah. No one else. Antony's not an £84 million player. It's as simple as that. Just like Grealish isn't a £100 million player. Just like Mudryk definitely isn't a £100 million player. But it's how much the club value that player. So
in terms of the Antony sale as well, probably didn't know who'd already taken Martinez from Ajax as well. So obviously, but I think that was only 40 million as well, off the top of my head. 40 or 50.
Yeah,
so
40 or 50, yeah.
It's crazy.
These fees are just
it's crazy.
And the Neymar transfer all them years ago to PSG ruined
the only thing with the Antony one.
I think it's all United. Sorry.
The only thing with
Newcastle United.
He's come the manager knows him fully. It's not like
No,
with Mudyrk, neither manager know him fully in terms of like.
But Zinchenko's wife interviewed him, mate.
All right, Aaron, let it go, mate. Just let it go. Jesus.
Sorry,
I'm just
Arteta's known
saying.
for years.
He's got Ukrainian links with the fact that Zinchenko's there.
Yeah, but
he's been twerking all over fucking Instagram. I'm not letting this fucking go. He broke my heart yesterday. He ruined my
Yesterday
Saturday.
was beautiful. I can't
Mate,
lie.
that was my favourite VOD of all time.
Mum was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "No, I'm not."
Paige asked me the same
Okay.
question. She was like, "You're right," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She's like, "No, you sure you're right?" I was like, "To be honest, darling, right? we haven't signed Mudyrk, and I'm really quite sad. So let me just watch Prison Break in peace, please."
Gutted, mate.
No, but like, I think the Anthony signing. Obviously, there's been previous signings that has kind of put the transfer market into absolute shit situation. But I mean, the Anthony
these
signing,
are new levels.
I mean, as we saw with the Shakhtar president, the Anthony signing clearly has an effect on the Mudryk signing because the Shakhtar president come out and said, "Well, if Anthony's worth this much, then Mudryk's worth this much." So
yeah,
I think Grealish as well. They mentioned so.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a big domino effect.
For me, it's not just the fees though. It's like the fees from where these players are coming from. Like Jack Grealish was coming from Premier League. You know that's always got tax. But to see these fees for players directly coming from
Shakhtar Donetsk,
from Ukraine and fucking Ajax, it's you've never seen it before. It's fucking wild.
On Chelsea and their
terrifying
spending. They're in the fucking mud anyway, league table wise.
Yeah,
they're not getting European football. They're not getting European football.
I don't.
Unless
I think they'll do well to get Europa League, and they need a fucking turnaround and a turnaround quick.
Honestly, couldn't happen to a nicer team.
Honestly, I'm so devastated that Chelsea are in the mud. Like,
kind of praying for relegation.
Yeah, I'd honestly liquidate. That's all I'm thinking about Chelsea Football Club.
Also, what are you talking about? FFP? Knock.
They've got 3 years break.
It's like a 3/5 because the deal, especially for Mudryk, is over like a 5-year cycle. That's how they break it down.
Yeah. It's funny though, like seeing Chelsea fans singing "We want our Chelsea back." It's like, well, before Abramovich, you're a mid-table team, so this is your Chelsea back.
Yeah, this is your Chelsea back.
We want our Chelsea back.
Now they've got a guy that's doing exactly the same thing. He's just coming in and just spunking a lot of cash on whatever fucking player he wants, and he's absolutely crazy.
I mean, I feel for some of their influential players that are out.
Nah,
right? Wait for Reece James being out.
Nah,
right?
Oh, devastating.
No, because.
I'll never feel sorry for any single person involved.
Player, but not the club.
Yeah, I don't care about the Chelsea team.
I hate them.
But
they've got injuries.
Actually, you know what? End of this segment. Fuck Chelsea.
I don't feel sorry for them at all.
They've got big issues in terms of big players being it. Like Kante's been.
They'll be all right in the end.
Who just started playing well again. Both their key fullbacks, Cucurella's obviously not lived up to Cucurella of Brighton or Chilwell. Reece James.
Sideshow Bob.
The guy, by the way, playing at left back's fucking dog shit. I don't care. Lewis Hall. I know he's young. He's a pony. Right back. I mean, Dave's not to quote the prick. He's a steady Eddie. He's an all right player, but he's not.
A fucking living.
He goes. Dave goes 40 in a 60, mate. He's just shit.
So
he's wank.
Yeah, they're sat in 10th in the mud, and Potter has aged 48 years in 4 months.
Yes. It's not. I do feel a bit. You know what? I feel a little bit sorry for him. But then I remember that he's Chelsea boss, and I sit there and laugh.
Someone said the other day, I feel for him. I was like, no, he went to join the worst team in the world.
I don't.
Like one of the funniest thing is obviously the Chelsea fans singing they want Abramovich back as well. While Mudryk comes out with a Ukraine flag draped around them at Stamford Bridge today, they've all just gone. All the fans are literally everyone gone, "Oh fuck, this is."
You say all the fans.
This is a little bit.
You say all the fans. That was potentially the worst signing unveiling I've seen in my life because there's no one in the fucking stadium when it happened. They're all out eating burgers and hot dogs.
Yeah, he's on a fucking casting couch as well with a Ukraine flag over him.
Yeah. He's come out at half time, walked 5 steps on the pitch, gone, "You're right, lads. See you later."
Wait, so talking about Chelsea, does that bring us on to the managers?
Yeah.
Potter.
He's completely safe.
I was going to say, I think he's completely safe.
Listen, if Lampard's still in the job, Potter needs to be given at least 18 months.
I mean, we spoke
Simple
about
as that.
I know they've spent a lot of money, but they also spent a lot of money with Tuchel. I know we think internal issues probably caused that sacking more, but you all think
100
Potter's
would.
not getting sacked this season no matter what.
No,
Because the thing is, if you're like I said
Obviously
before,
not getting relegated, but if they finish 15th,
if you're a manager for a top 6, top 8 club now, you're going. Look at Arsenal and Arteta. Look what happened when they backed him for a few years.
Arsenal, guys.
They finished 8th.
Yeah,
in
but
their
like,
first season.
that's the thing. After a few
Yeah.
years, a few windows, look at them now.
Yeah.
That's what managers will be going for.
yeah, but
If
okay,
they are
is this guy going to listen? Because we've seen,
Yeah,
we know what
exactly.
Chelsea,
Also,
we know what Chelsea
I think
do,
he
but
will.
we've seen from the transfers,
Yeah,
this
but
guy
it's
will
different.
this guy clearly just has an idea and goes, yeah, fuck it, we'll do it. So if
I
he
mean,
gets
the
it, if he
first
gets in his
idea when he-
head, oh, we need a new manager, I don't think
Nah,
he'll even care
I
what Potter
think
says. We'll just get rid of him.
I mean, I don't want to underestimate this fella because his first idea when he came to Stamford Bridge was let's play 4-4-3. So anything is possible, but Potter needs to be given more. Like, he's walked into a shit show and he's just had money thrown at him. He's had Kukurea brought in. He's had multiple others.
Well, that wasn't his signing.
No,
Okay.
it was there before, but he's had all these signings come in. He still doesn't know what the fuck to do with them all. And then losing half his starting 11, he's just like, right, who are you and where did you come from? Oh, I come from
Like,
Benfica. Like,
he's-
you're
he-
playing left back. Like,
He's
Well,
still playing for
they've got a
Havertz.
massive.
They all these
Right.
signings, they still don't have an out and out striker, like a goal
But they-
scorer.
Well,
Not like
they-
I'm
who?
not even talking an Erling Haaland, but somebody who's
Obama
gonna
who?
fucking
no,
get
but
you some
yeah, they've got
goals.
Aubameyang on the bench.
We said it in like
They
before.
want to get rid of him.
We said before, and they've signed Felix on loan. He looked all right until we fucking thought, you know what, I'm going to karate kick someone in the knee.
They need a
Like,
squad
Smart's
clear
gonna-
out. They need a squad
But-
clear out.
Yeah.
Mason Mount needs to go.
He
Sorry,
does.
he's
I
out.
know,
sorry,
Cal,
Cal.
Cal,
Sorry,
like, I
Cal.
know you're a big fan of him, but he is
He
hasn't been great. He has
absolutely
not been good.
donkey. He's a
Awful.
He has not been good
donkey.
at all.
He'd look good at Derby County, mind.
Yeah, true. League
would
One
look
level.
Homecoming.
I can't stand him. He's
I haven't seen a
awful.
Potter. I haven't seen a Potter more at risk than fucking Harry at Godric's Hollow. That's all I'm gonna say.
So we all say
Get on to the next
I feel
one.
like it wouldn't surprise me if he gets sacked. Not
No,
It
I think he's got the
Potter is
longest time
100%
out of
safe.
these ones.
He's not a risk.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, as Sip said, most of these ones we're going to talk about. The next one is Conte.
Yeah, Sipple, take it away. Take it away, Ernie.
Think it was going to be a
Right,
bomb.
I think he would
Right.
walk.
First question: sack or walk?
I think he would
With
walk
Conte.
first.
I'd imagine he'll walk, but because obviously he's only got the contract till this year, so he's not exactly losing out on that much money. I think today falls on him a little bit more so because like playing Sessegnon was a really weak move. I know he has a pace advantage on Perisic, but like I said during the watch long, Perisic has the experience to sort of know how to work without pace as such, if that makes sense.
My
So
only,
that just fucked us completely.
the
today.
issue
I mean,
is
it was
we've seen
awful.
Perisic get violated by Anthony,
I mean,
so maybe that's in the back of his head.
Well, he's put Sessegnon in there to help Longlow with Saka, and Saka's had bloody Sessegnon on toast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like,
I don't think there's any way Perisic could have been worse than Sessegnon. So
Quick question, Sip.
yes,
Out of your squad or your squad, like bench and starting 11, who are you keeping?
Yeah.
If in an ideal world you could get rid of and it wouldn't like affect, obviously you need players.
right.
But,
So
like, who would you keep?
the absolute like can't sells would be Romero, Bentancur, Kulusevski, Kane. Pretty much it, to be fair.
Richarlison?
Skip.
Give him time or get him rid of him?
Yeah, no, Richarlison, like it'd be a bit harsh, and obviously like Perisic, I've been really fond of this year. I think he's done a very good job. But I mean, if you look at our squad categorically on the whole, it's just not good enough, especially not for the system that Conte wants to use, and obviously his persistence to this, his like reluctance to change it is now playing against him because like, okay, you've been in this long enough to know that these players aren't good enough for what you want to do, so you've got to try and work a way to accommodate them. But like I said in the watch long, that system's worked for him for 25 years at every club he's been to. But unfortunately, these players aren't good enough for you. So that's the way it goes. Like I said,
he's either got to change his system, or he's got to walk.
or he's got to be
hasn't he?
back.
I mean,
So he ain't going to be back.
especially
so.
with his comments in a couple of weeks ago now, I think, about something along the lines of not wanting to win a trophy, but just kind of beating in around the top four kind of thing.
He also made similar comments like midway through last season as well, didn't he? Where he said that they weren't good enough or whatever it was.
I don't know, Sibbers, you as a fan, if you like, well, I don't. How would you
He's
feel
pointing out
about
the
that?
obvious.
It's like
He's
I
just
know
pointing out the
you're
obvious,
used
though.
to it, but like it's. I
But
don't think it's what you want to hear.
He's echoing a lot of what the fans know how the board feels. Do you know what I mean? We have been very close to achieving great things in the last 5 or 6 years. I know all we've needed is backing, and it just hasn't happened. So if the manager comes out and says that, it's a reflection of the environment he's in. Daniel Levy is happy as long as he gets Champions League and he can make the stadium look shiny on a Wednesday night. He's calm. He doesn't give a fuck about winning. He said it when he first took over the club in like 2000. He said, "This is a pure business venture. We have no emotional investment into this club or sport. It's purely a financial purpose." The geezer doesn't give a fuck.
So
with what we've seen, content.
Oh, go on. Sorry, Sir Paul. Do you think until Daniel Levy and his cronies leave Spurs, you won't win a trophy?
I wouldn't be surprised. The thing is, I think if you give Daniel Levy, let's say, Saudi money, he would be do you know what I mean? Because he's frugal at the minute, because obviously it's his money that he's spending. Because obviously every time you hear people, they go, "Oh, he's a tough fucker to work with," but he generally gets decent deals. So if you gave him backing that wasn't coming out of his own pocket, it's like giving your card to someone at the bar and going, "Don't worry, I'll get this round." You go, "Fucking come on, let's get everything." You know what I mean? But he tells you the pin. So it's but yeah. So
contactless.
Until that happens and we get a shift, then unfortunately we're going to be in the same cycle we've been stuck in for the last 25 years.
Okay, cool.
I think it's pretty evident that what Conte has moaned about is fairly accurate as well. I don't think it's out of frustration of he can't get it done. He knows that he'd be able to get it done.
Yeah,
just if there was a little bit more aspiration from above, and you said, they are very content with repetition of top four,
mediocrity,
just the amount.
Yeah,
but I feel he's not blameless as well. Like we fought hard to buy a new right back in the summer. We did it, and now you're not playing him out of spite because you didn't want him. So you're now continuing to play Emerson Royale. Obviously, he hasn't for the last few weeks. But how many times has Emerson Royale cost us this season already? Do you know what I mean? So you're what's the word? Just stubbornness. Yeah, your stubbornness has also cost us just as much as poor performances have. I personally feel.
But also, just to on the opposite side of things, in the summer of the season just gone, you were the third highest spenders in the league. So.
This isn't just like a one summer problem. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get that, but Spurs came through the ranks last year and they managed to get top four, and then in the summer, Conte got back to a certain extent, but I mean the signings haven't proved.
That's where Ship's saying that he's not blameless in it. Because if you're not getting back for your targets, and out of arrogance you're going, well, no, I'm still playing my 5 at the back with 2 wing backs, and you haven't got competent wing backs to have that system working. You haven't got enough depth in midfield to be able to change it up and go 3 to midfield. At that point, it's no longer the board. All right, the board could have went out and instead of Jed Spence, they could have got you I don't know, Spinazzola or anyone like that. But
it's an issue with the whole scouting team and whatnot, because like I said, they spent the third most, and you look at what they got value for money wise, and to be honest, I mean it's been pretty shit. Yeah. I mean, you look at who's your best signing of the summer window?
Perisic.
It was a free.
Perisic. You signed a striker for 60 million who hasn't scored a goal in the league this season. I know he's been injured for a little bit, but I mean we're talking Spurs here, who are a Champions League club this season and however many seasons prior, and they're not signing good enough profiles of players. And as simple as that. It's an issue with the whole scouting side of things.
Jose Mourinho, when he was here, he wanted Ruben Diaz and Bruno Fernandes. He got Joe Rodon and fucking someone else. We are perpetual B-list shoppers. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I could list off 10 names over the last 10 years that have wanted to come to us that we've wanted but we've gone for the cheap alternative. Obviously, like I said, Richarlison and I can't complain about that signing. It could prove to be very fruitful, but this is like a 15, 20-year problem of every time we've wanted a target, Levy's gone filter high to low and just scrolled down until we found one to.
Surely, do you think Conte's got anything to do with transfers? Anything at all? Surely a manager has to have something at least to do transfers.
I think he might take a short list to them of like what sort of player he wants, or maybe some sort of criteria that it needs to tick. But ultimately, we've seen it with loads of teams over the years. They just, I mean, Tuchel had it when he was at Chelsea as well. Didn't he have fucking signings brought in? And obviously, this is a little bit different because Conte is Tuchel had been at Chelsea for a season, and then they start doing it. Conte, we saw it from the get-go.
It's just been all in all since Conte's been there. It's just been poor signings from whoever's making the choices. Well, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say earlier. Was to sit when he was talking about it. I was like, you Spurs are Spurs, and Conte is Conte. Is Conte's ego too big to change and try and find a different way for Spurs to win?
I mean, actually, to be fair, I say shit, but they play second half football. Even today, they created a few pretty good chances. Ramsdale, from what I saw, had a decent game. So it's like the second half, they just go, right, we're playing football again. But the first half and even periods in the second half in a lot of games, they just switch off. But then you can see it happen. It's like, why?
He said that the 38 goals they scored, the 37 goals they scored this season, 28 of them have been in the second half.
Yeah.
That's
the first half, you may as well just pray for 0-0.
Stat was before the game. In the last 13 games, Tottenham have not scored in the first half.
Like the whole when you go into a football match, you want to come out the gates hot and set the tempo and the pace for the game. I haven't seen Spurs do that once this season.
No, not at all. And that's the thing. People are now sort of going, well, if we're going to lose, we want to go out without not on a fucking whimper. Do you know what I mean? Like when we lose, we get battered like play wise. Do you know what I mean? I don't think we've lost a single 2-1 where someone scored a late goal. Like when we lose, we get dismantled. Do you know what I mean? It's a lack of effort, a lack of everything. So
I mean, to start, look, it's a North London derby. In the first half, Arsenal treating Spurs like they were playing Bournemouth for the Championship. It was
to try and stop your rivals getting closer to winning the league.
What more do you need? To hype yourself up. So whose fault was that? Is that players? Is that Conte? He's just not getting into enough.
That's the thing. Today's a mix of both. I didn't agree with his lineup, but the effort from them lot was fucking. But you
look at Amazon Prime series last season, and all the opposition fans mocking Arteta for bringing out light bulbs and stuff like that. But he gets through to his players. Yeah, they come out the traps hot. So why is it?
The thing is, you can change. Look at us from game 2. I was having a fucking meltdown.
Yeah,
saying the players just don't care. Even Rashford, I was like, he just meanders around a pitch. But the manager can change that, or not just the manager, his backroom staff, etc., etc.
So Conte's a serial winner.
It can't just be the players; it has to be the manager and his team as well.
You've got world class players on that pitch. You've got Harry Kane. You've got Son, who, fair enough, he's been shit this season. You've got World Cup winners in Hugo Lloris. You've got World Cup winners in Romero. Why can't they get the team rolled up and get ready to go? It doesn't make sense to me.
That's the thing. When you talk about United transfers, it's at the point now. I've said it this week. The things I'd do to see Kane in a competent team. Do you know what I mean? Because I said the other day, I was like that man's given us far more loyalty than we've deserved, and it's now to the point that I'd much rather, if he can go on and win stuff, that's big enough for me. That's good enough for me, because we're certainly not. So if we're going to continue to hold him back, like I said, if United came in with an offer this summer, I'd drive him there myself, just purely because that's all we've got to hope is now to live vicariously through his career in case he wins.
Surely, if you're Conte, you're thinking, I've got what's got a year left on his contract.
Is it end of this season?
End of the summer.
Why would he sign another contract? And why would he tarnish his? Because he's not old, is he? He's going to go on to another job.
What is he? 31.
This is the problem right now, though. So Conte's going.
Who? Harry Kane?
Conte.
Yeah, Conte.
Conte.
I thought you were about Harry.
The cowboy face-off that's happening now, which is really hindering us, is Conte's going, fucking hell, I need some money. And the board are going, okay, well, you need to sign a deal so that we know that you're going to stay so that we can back you with this money. And then Conte's going, oh, but I'm not sure if you're going to, so I'm not going to sign my contract. They go, okay, well, we're not going to give you money because we don't know that you're going to be here in 6 months.
Get that into a contract.
Oh
Surely
yeah,
it's
no,
not that
of course, but that's the back and forth that's been happening through press
difficult.
conferences.
I feel like if I have a party who wanted it done, they would get it done, and it's as simple as that.
Possibly.
Not as simple as that, but it's along those lines of, right, well, if you want me to stay, it's like if he wants to stay and he's saying, I want to stay, if you want me to stay, I need this backing, and Spurs are saying, well, we want you to stay, surely it's as simple as, right, okay, well, give me the backing, put it in contract, and I'll stay.
Yeah,
the same
he
about
relies on Levy willingly giving up money. So.
Let it go.
There's one other manager on our
on the second walk list.
Of 3.
One who does have
And
years to burn, though.
He does, and he's got teeth to burn. He's also claimed that Liverpool do have a ceiling. It's Mr. Jurgen Klopp.
7-season curse. I said it a few months ago now. It's real, and we're seeing it.
Yeah, 100%.
It does feel like the cycle is. I know there's a big banner that obviously Liverpool have got a lot of injuries, right?
And
but it does feel like they're not really trying, like that. They're not giving 100% every game now.
That's why I feel like I could see him walking.
You can't get trounced 3-0 by Brian and say the players are putting 110%.
Wait.
It's pretty fair. I think it's the first time he's not played a pitch or the weather. First time he's actually gone, look, we weren't good enough, guys.
Diaz, Jota.
Well, we've had injuries horrifically all season. Diaz, Jota, Nunes, Firmino, Van Dijk. Caton's been out all season, even though I hate him. Henderson's been out. Fabinho's been out. Konate's been out.
But the point I'm trying to make is when all these players have been back, obviously apart from Diaz and Jota, because Diaz was out pretty early, wasn't he? And Jota was only back for a little bit before being out again.
He was like,
the rest of them have been shit.
Again.
If you
saying that.
Look,
no,
this
but
season,
what I'm saying is the injuries aren't gonna
this season.
You just need a squad overhaul.
No, I don't think they do. This season, if just for this season, if you replaced Henderson and Fabinho with Bentancur and Thomas Partey, I guarantee they would be a much better team. The legs in that midfield are absolutely shocking.
Fabinho's playing
they are awful. They are all three of them.
The trouble is, what you've got is you've got a Liverpool team with Klopp, and his obviously classic style of football is high line. From the get-go, high line defence, high line of midfield, high line of attack. The attack presses, the midfield covers and presses, and then the defence plays the offside trap. It's how it's always been, and we're currently playing that with 31-year-old Thiago, who's slow, 31 or 2-year-old Henderson, who's slow and shit, and a absolutely diabolical Fabinho.
I don't know what's happened to Fabinho. He's fallen.
Jim, Hendo's always good for a little ball over the top.
No, but this is the thing though, because Hendo in the Liverpool squad, Hendo was put in that squad so that when Trent wants to get forward and attack, he would always be there to cover. He ain't got the legs for it anymore.
I don't know who it was. It was a pundit. He said he never liked the signing of Thiago because it's not a classic Klopp midfield. And it was I kind of agree with it. Like, Klopp midfield has never needed to be when we was in the Champions League, Champions final against Real Madrid, or whenever we've been in there, and everyone's always said our midfield is our weak area, but it's never needed to be big names. It's never needed to be the most technically gifted players. It's meant to be engines. Fucking like Genie. Genie was
weren't God's gift as a footballer for you, but he would do it.
Engines that will work hard and cover our talented players, and at the moment you have lazy.
I've got it.
Lazy. No, I'm not taking
McTominay. 30 million. Done deal. Thank you.
You've got three players in the midfield, right? And if you put those three players in a running race, and the fourth person was Mertesacker, I don't think Mertesacker will finish last. Their legs are completely gone.
I saw a tweet. It was like with Liverpool playing Henderson when we was against Brighton. It was like, Henderson wouldn't get in Brighton's midfield, so why are we playing him?
Yeah.
The way they were passing out your press was they were practicing. They were practicing
out of the park.
We all said we thought you were going to lose, but you got battered. Like it was
Your
like
other options for midfield are Harvey Elliott.
Yeah, it's not. He's not midfielder. He's not a midfielder.
And Harvey Elliott looks like he struggles to get his legs off the ground when he runs.
This is the thing. I've never seen a sadder. Like we've had lows, but I've never. This is why I'm scared he's gonna walk. I've never seen a sadder Klopp. I've never seen a sadder fan
Welcome,
base.
brother. Welcome to the sad
Like,
times.
I think
the apology era started as well. Trent gave his first
Brighton game. It was bad.
Trent gave his first
discussed it.
apology.
we discussed it maybe a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, is that obviously Liverpool have been the only team to really compete with City in the last 5 years, right? They've been at Liverpool when they won the Champions League, were held to be, and they were at one point probably the best team in the world, yeah. But for all this being the best team in the world, and for all this being so fucking good, unfortunately for you guys, you came out with literally a Champions League and a Premier League. Like
It's rough. This is the thing. Not just meant. This is why I did feel bad for Fabinho's. He has been run into the ground. I think I've seen something. We've signed like 2 midfielders in 5 years. And if you think as well, like how much this midfield works, like you know when you look at like sprints, kilometers covered, Liverpool have always been top 2, ever since Klopp's been in charge. This midfield has absolutely worked into the ground.
Do we know how many midfielders you've signed compared to the amount that you've shipped out?
Because you think we've shipped out quite a few.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Like what you've
and also
you've never really replaced.
You've got to think, not only do these midfielders have to work harder than a lot of midfields, they haven't had much backup. We've had to play a disgusting amount of games every season. You think last year we played every single game. And then you've also got to take into account, like you just said about the trophy-wise, like as much as they don't show it sometimes, you imagine the toll that must take on you as a player. You've dropped 3 90-plus point seasons. You've come out with 1 Premier League. Yeah. You've got to 3 Champions League finals. You've come out with 1. That's got to be rough.
When it comes to, I know people with the whole injury issue and stuff like that, but when you're in 2023 and you're going to a game and you're starting Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain at left wing, there's a serious issue.
Mate.
We've been through this. Keita is the Black Zizou. That is hands down. He is Zinedine Zidane in the flesh. In the modern era, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, on the other hand,
and the worst thing is, I don't know what's happening because we're meant to be getting sold, but I haven't heard nothing about it. We had Michael Edwards was our director, an absolute God's gift. Before he left last season, and we got a new one in Julian Ward. Even before the season got to halfway, he's quit. He's leaving at the end of the season. Klopp's not looking. This is the most depressed I've ever seen him. We apparently we can't sign any midfielder. We've been told because we've got no money for it. But we've got 250 million in summer somewhere. Yet we're up for sale. It's a fucking shit show.
Oxlade-Chamberlain has featured more for Little Mix than he has for Liverpool in the past 2 seasons.
We've spent 2 years twerking for Jude Bellingham. I've got Henderson grope him in at the World Cup.
Do you think you get him?
No, not a chance. The thing is, I know people say like, if you don't get challenged in football, I don't think that counts. I don't think that matters. I think it'll still come because we're not just going to fall off the face of the earth suddenly.
Yeah.
For me, even if we got champions, even if we won the league, I don't think it would come. He goes to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Liverpool, when Klopp first took over, it was the start of their project and stuff like that. Is it now come full circle where his project is no longer?
This is where I'm at my most horrible crossroads of thoughts.
Do you let Klopp
I've never been
project?
Klopp out, but it's like, do you have to look at the whole process of maybe a whole new rebuild of like, do we need new something fresh? Because I would never be Klopp out. I'm not never, but like I'm nowhere near that yet. But I'm seeing cracks. I'm seeing mistakes. The lineups, subs. Continuous faith on shit players that are not given any effort. And you can't not blame him. You can't blame injuries and other things all the time. You have to blame the manager.
It feels like the wheels have very much come off.
This is what I mean. Like he looks tired. This is why I said he could walk because, he's what he has. I know.
He thinks the German job,
piss about. Next been that, but
7 years.
7 years.
7 year curse.
Isn't there a little curse?
Yeah, that's what Cal was saying.
The
thing is,
look at like
That just speaks. Brand just ignores Cal.
That's the thumbs down.
I don't know where he is. Yeah.
It's like he's probably tired. He's had to work on a smaller budget compared to City. That's facts. He's had to compete with a super team and one of the best managers in the world, year on, year out, and has only come out with one trophy. Like the man looks fucked. The man looks fucked. You see him at the end of that game. He was doing that.
Yeah,
like, I'm
that.
sorry.
I
I've never seen him do anything like that. I've never seen him
Coutinho
not
money's run
blame.
out finally.
I've never seen him not blame the pitch.
I was going to say,
If
it's the
he
first time he's
goes-
actually gone. Oh, it was my bad.
If he
Literally.
does go, let's see, goes at the end of the season. Who would you
Gerrard.
want?
No,
Fuck off.
No,
Conte.
no chance.
Conte.
Yeah.
This is the
Ollie?
thing. There isn't anyone I know of.
Gerrard
Let's see
Houllier?
how to pick a bunch.
Wait, I know exactly.
Jose Enrique, seeing as he took like talked to
Rafa Benitez.
Steve Bruce.
Brendan
Lawrence
Rodgers, bring
McKenna?
home.
Yeah,
Wenger comes back.
It would have to
It's
be someone.
Sven-Goran Eriksson,
I think it would have to be someone that's not a big name.
James Corden.
Vincent Company.
James Corden.
hey, Michael
Ooh,
Carrick
I'll tell you what, Chaz. Vincent
done bits
Company.
Middlesbrough.
But yeah, I think it would be someone that's not a big
That'd be a
name.
good shout.
That's like
That'd be
off
all.
in some other league doing well.
A little
But I
Brendan
don't know.
Rodgers
Does
type
it
sort of
almost
character.
feel like kind of like
The end.
I know it's not quite as big, but does it almost feel kind of like Arsenal and Arsene Wenger, where you're like, I really
I'm
don't
into
want
the
to see
end.
the end. I don't want to see
I
the back
don't
of you.
wanna
But at the
say
same time,
bye, but-
something's
It's
got to
got to.
change.
Yeah.
I think it's too early. It's like
It's too early because the thing is,
not
it could
even
all
1
change.
year.
Say you get
Say
new
you-
owners.
yeah. We'll say
Get
you
new
don't
owners.
lose the game.
I'd want
Who knows?
I'd want Klopp in charge of that 100% if we got new owners. 100%.
You mean you'd want Klopp in charge if he just had money?
If he
Yeah.
got this
If you-
250, I'd
Yeah.
want him in charge. Because, like you said, who else is there? There isn't anyone. We're at a severe lack of top managers.
The thing that worries me about Liverpool is you read all this stuff about like targets and that, and then you read more, and it's all about his assistant wanting these targets. There's Pep Linders.
Oh, the assistant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the fan base of not trying to blame Klopp because we love him too much.
Yeah,
They're
some
just
of the
blaming the
tweets I've been
assistant.
seeing.
The guy's an assistant manager. Like, get a grip.
I saw someone complaining. Someone was complaining about Gakpo into
Yeah.
after at
Saying
half
that
time
the-
in the Brighton game. I was like, he's
The-
played 1 game and a
Oh,
half,
no.
and you're already
She
out
hasn't,
of going.
she hasn't been able to touch the ball.
Right? To be honest, though, if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm kind of like somewhat happy with the Gakpo signing. But the fact that you've got the players that you've got, I know some are injured. You've got the players that you've got, and you've decided to
I know
buy
what you're going to say.
Gakpo
I'd
instead
rather
of putting
midfielder.
that putting that £40 million into a midfield player. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
It was
sense.
strange.
He spent a lot on
doesn't-
attackers when that's the one. That's why you've been
Yeah.
strongest over the years.
If the thing
Right
is,
now, it's
if,
all over. It's a mess.
yeah, if this is why I'm not at a crisis point because if we get, like I said, I'd say 2 very good midfielders in the summer, I think we'd be absolutely fine.
Well, mate,
You know,
that's why I said.
You've got
Imagine,
Kanai at the back, who I think is fucking unreal, young, unreal. Fullbacks are still young. We've got a shit ton of forwards that are all quality. You know,
Joe Gomez.
with that forward line, with a good midfield behind it, of the potential of Gakpo, Diaz, Jota, Salah, Nunes.
That's why I said. Imagine
come good.
that Liverpool team with Partey and Bentancur in the team.
Like
I
the
guarantee you
perfect
they can
person, the one that absolutely played us for the park, KC. My word, he was
but
unreal.
the thing is,
Oh
with
my
that
God,
fo-
he was so
with
good.
With that 40 million, who could you get?
Him, I'll take him.
No, they want- they want
He's,
Right.
he's 70, 75
Yeah.
million.
You know,
Kona
you know
Wobi, relegation release clause from Everton.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. People laugh, yeah. I guarantee there's a better job in that midfield than what the current midfielders
Oh,
are
he
doing.
That's the
fucking
thing,
would
It'd
as
be,
well.
it'd be hard to
need-
do worse.
We don't
Iwobi
need
and
a big
Ghana, 40
star.
mil.
Do you know what would be good for you? No, Fred.
Fred,
Probably.
you would be.
Yeah.
Fred
No,
wouldn't be
Or
bad.
Joe
in the
He-
10.
he-
Fred for you would be
Fred,
unreal right
he's
now.
Ship.
not in the. We need to go here again. Fred's
Ship.
he will
Right.
work fucking hard. He's like similar to a genie in terms of not God's gift as a footballer, but he will work his
That
fucking
is all we
socks
need.
off every
Two
week.
two engines, 2 people that can keep the
Oh,
ball
yeah.
well,
thing
run
is,
about, press well.
Everything could be good. Like again, your defense as well. It's not playing great. Thank fuck you have Allison because
The thing
who
is,
knows
it's
where
not
you'd be
playing
right now in
great,
the
but
league.
like our defense has always. You remember last year, like how many times? Chucked across
Alisson was helped, but
ooh.
even this, like Trent's not been
But
as good as he's been. Virgil's not been as good. Robbo's been
no,
alright.
he hasn't.
But like
in regards to
everything that could be going wrong is
the
going
defense
wrong.
is getting absolutely peppered because, like you see every game, that one ball, just every time, just the midfield just over.
I think,
over.
And then you watch Hendo hoof it long,
and then I see Henderson get it and just go, bash.
In regards to like the original point about, you know, does Klopp get sacked? Does he leave? I don't really think his job's going to change until they work out if Liverpool's being sold. I think if Liverpool isn't being sold, I think he would actually walk.
If that's what I was thinking. If he got like, because obviously he'd know a lot more. If he had information of like, listen, we only going to do like a partial sale, or we're not looking, we've got nothing. I think he'd be like, I'm done then. I've had enough.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
You couldn't
fuck
blame
you
him
lot.
either.
No, I'm not a chance I would blame him.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. We've still got James Milner. We still have to run
he's
James
injured.
Milner.
He's injured.
I saw a tweet. It was quite funny. It was like, if Klopp was in charge of City, Fernandinho would still be playing. I was like, pretty true.
Not wrong. Yeah. I think that just about wraps up the podcast. I think absolutely. I think Klopp will walk rather than get sacked. In conclusion, I think it's too much for a hero to get booted out the door.
Mate, that ownership would get.
Imagine having to sit down in that meeting room and get rid of the man who's like.
Who's
changed your fucking
yeah.
What's the bad news, mate?
Gotta let you go.
Next
man
match
makes
gets
already
sacked, David
FSG
Moyes.
out, and then if they went and sack Klopp, it'd be chaos.
There'd be fires, there'd be riots, and there should be riots about us returning as well. You know, consistent content.
What a segue that was!
You know what I mean? Unreal segment. We're back as of now. New Year's resolution.
What games we got next week,
boys? We've got hefty games.
Big game, Chaz.
We've got some midweek games as well.
Yeah,
fuck them off. But we've got some midweek games. Spurs City, Palace United. That's not in the game week. That's like to catch up. That's some games in hand.
Oh no, we're not doing Liverpool Chelsea, are we?
The mid-off of the century.
Yeah, Liverpool Chelsea.
The mid-off of the century.
We'll be live both Saturday and Sunday. Arsenal United as well. Sunday, big fixture. And we'll see you there. Also, be sure to tune into the TikTok to see Aaron's team of the week exclusively on TikTok. Nowhere else. Get over there.
And Twitter.
And Twitter as well. Maybe on Twitter. But you have to be subscribed to Twitter Blue to have it. Twitter Blue viewers only. And yeah, that is just about it, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure being back. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. And until then, have a fantastic week. Peace.